Welcome to Luxembourg, one of Europe's smallest yet wealthiest countries. This weekend, we'll explore its scenic capital, taste some of the finest crémant from the Moselle vineyards, and even check out a magnificent castle. Are you ready for the adventure? Let's go! Let's start our tour in Luxembourg City, one of Europe's most picturesque capitals, characterized by its dramatic geography. The city is perched on a series of cliffs and plateaus, with the Alzette and Pertuis rivers winding through deep gorges below. This creates a stunning contrast between the elevated upper town, where you'll find plenty of historic landmarks and buildings, and the charming lower town of Grun, with its cobblestone streets and riverside views. By the way, if you are new to this channel, my name is Ken, and I share on this channel travel tips that I discovered during my travels, along with candid reviews of flights, cruises, and hotels. So if you enjoy travel content, make sure to subscribe. Right now, we're walking along Chemin de la Corniche, which is often called Europe's most beautiful balcony. This pedestrian promenade winds along the 17th century city ramparts, and it offers breathtaking views across the river canyon, and this is a must-visit in Luxembourg City. From here, you can spot the impressive Neumünster Abbey down in the Grun. Originally built in the 1600s after the old Alt-Münster Benedictine Abbey was destroyed, it has a fascinating history. After the French Revolution, it was expropriated by the state, and it became a military hospital, and later a prison until 1980. Following over a decade of restoration, it reopened in 2004 as a cultural and conference center. Well, behind me, you can see the Bock Casemates, which is an incredible network of underground tunnels and galleries carved into the rock. These tunnels play a crucial role in the city's defenses throughout history. Located beneath the Monte de Clausen, the Bock Casemates have a rich and fascinating history dating back to the 10th century. Originally, Count Siegfried of the Ardennes built a fortified castle on the Bock promontory in 963, taking advantage of the natural fortifications provided by the rocky outcrop. We had fun exploring the Bock Casemates as we wandered through the network of underground tunnels. And then there were some fantastic views from the locales. From one of these holes, we had this breathtaking panorama of the lower town of Grun, a sight that's as stunning today as it was centuries ago. Over the years, different rulers, including the Spanish, French, and Austrians, took control of the casemates, each expanding and reinforcing the fortifications. Under Austrian rule, it was transformed into an intricate labyrinth of casemates, which has housed everything from garrisons to bakeries and even slaughterhouses. 1867, the Treaty of London mandated the dismantling of many of Luxembourg's defenses. Despite that, the Bock Casemates survived. Today, they are a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a major tourist attraction, offering visitors a glimpse into the city's strategic military past. Now, let's head over to our next stop, the Musée d'Histoire de la Vie de Luxembourg, or the Luxembourg City Museum. This museum provides an in-depth look at the city's history from its founding to the present day. The permanent exhibition, The Luxembourg Story, showcases the city's development through countless original artifacts and models, some of which incorporate multimedia animations. The City Museum is housed in 4 historic buildings which were built between the 17th and 19th century, in some cases on medieval foundations. A special highlight is the vast glass lift that can carry up to 65 people at a time along the ancient walls inside the museum. The City Museum also has a lot of temporary exhibitions. Right now, this exhibition is Pure Europe. Well, make sure you check out the outdoor terrace of the museum too. There are some interesting sculptures, but importantly, it offers a wonderful view of the city, including Grun. By the way, if you are planning to visit a few attractions in Luxembourg, I highly recommend getting the Luxembourg card. For 2024, it costs 14 euros for a day, 22 euros for 2 days, or 31 euros for 3 days. Considering that the admission to many attractions ranges between 6 euro and 10 euro, you break even really quickly and start saving money on your adventures. Luxembourg City is very compact. You can easily see most of its attractions in the morning. If you're visiting during the summer, don't miss the opportunity to tour the Grand Ducal Palace. Sadly, we're in Luxembourg just before its summer opening, so we missed it. Now, before we head out of the capital, there's one more place we should check out. Well, we couldn't leave Luxembourg City without visiting the Notre-Dame Cathedral. Built between 1613 and 1621, this Gothic cathedral is most memorable for its distinctively elongated black spires, the ornately carved Renaissance portal inside the main doorway, and its stunning stained glass windows. Now we are leaving Luxembourg City behind and we're driving to the picturesque Moselle River region, famous for its vineyards and crémant. If you're a fan of sparkling wine, you're in for a treat. Crémant is a sparkling wine made using the same method as champagne. The Moselle River, forming the border between Germany and Luxembourg, offers stunning views and fantastic wine experiences. Our first stop is going to be the charming town of Remige, where we've arranged a visit to Cave Saint-Martin, one of the renowned producers of crémant. If you have a Luxembourg card, your visits will be complimentary, but remember to make a reservation at least a couple of days in advance. Tours of different languages are offered at different times. On the tour, we'll explore the impressive network of underground cellars stretching over a kilometer and carved right into the natural rock. So the tour begins.
You choose in a tank. To transform it into wine, you have to add yeast to the juice. What happens is the yeast will eat the sugar and transform it into alcohol, and that's what we call alcoholic fermentation. Back in the day, they were sending kids and women inside to clean, of course. It was a very dangerous job because when you pump out the wine, the residue of CO2 drops because CO2 is heavier than air. And so when you went inside, there was a risk of asphyxiation and death. All right, so you lay on your side. If you have very broad shoulders, you have to crisscross and find a way to wiggle yourself in. So there's no excuse, everyone gets in. Like this, and then you push.
Wow.
Et voilà, so easy. So here we make crémant à la méthode traditionnelle because we are not allowed to make champagne à la méthode champenoise. We are not in Champagne region. So we were smart and we just changed the name so we don't get sued, right? But the process is exactly the same. It's like in Italy, they make prosecco al metodo classico. It's exactly the same thing. The traditional method was developed by Dom Pérignon in the 17th century. But I have shocking news for our French friends. The French did not discover the bubbles. It was the English. Sacre bleu. That's devastating news for them. But we have historical facts, so it is what it is. Step is the blend. So in Cave Saint-Martin, crémant brut, we put a blend of Riesling, Pinot Blanc, and a little bit of Auxerrois. We put them together into the bottles. To this, we add la liqueur de tirage, which is 15% of previous wine from previous years, in French, vin de réserve, plus 24 grams of sugar per liter. You close with a metal cap, and what happens is you have yeast, active yeast, and sugar again. So, yeast eats the sugar, transforms it into alcohol, we know the story already, but also we produce CO2. And this time, it does not get out, it stays in the bottle. The bottle does not explode, because this technology of the bottle as we know today was also developed by the English. What did the French do, you might ask? I don't know. Alright, after 24 months of napping, it's time to wake them up, and we put them on the riddle rags that you see here. Let's do a speed run. This is week number 1. The bottle is rather horizontal, and this is week number 6. So I just have to turn, and how the hole is shaped will push the bottle up. So now the bottle is more vertical, which allows to the dead yeast to slowly slide towards the neck of the bottle, but also eventually towards an exit. All right, the dead yeast is gathered in this metal cup that we see here. How are we going to separate it? To help you a little bit. The goal here is to be able to manipulate the bottle. Here, this yeast is very fine, so extremely volatile. So the smartest thing to do would be to concentrate all these little impurities into one block, so you can manipulate the bottle. So how to make a liquid solid? You freeze it. Exactly. Pretty easy, actually. So you freeze only this part of the neck. We have our bottles, we have the dead yeast right here. Let's create the ice cube. We insert the bottle there. We have 6 atmospheres of pressure in a bottle. So you just have to open the cap, and the pressure will shoot out the ice cube with the dead yeast. This process is called le dégorgement, which sounds terrifying. Not Marie-Antoinette dégorgement, don't worry. It's just the fact to, with a quick movement, open the cap with a small knife. That's it. So you're left with the clear liquid. It foams a little bit, so you're losing some liquid, but that's okay, we were smart. And we open exactly the same bottle just before. And so you add what you're missing. You put a cork on it, you have your bottle, you clean it, you put the sticker on, and you might think, great, we can finally have a drink here. No, still not, I'm sorry. It's been a lot of disappointments. You have to keep them on the side for 4 more months. Also be careful, the hallway is slippery.
Well, it's now the highlight of the visit, a tasting session. We'll sample one of their finest crémant, savouring the delicate bubbles, crisp flavours, and elegant finish that make Luxembourg's crémant so special.
Oh, it's divine. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow, trying the brut now. Wow. Well, we have tasted this before, we know it's good, so that's why we're coming back. Next, we're trying this 100 years crémant. Let's see how it tastes like. They're both very good, but I think I actually prefer this 100 years one. What do you think?
Well, this one's excellent. This one's a little bit better. So excellent plus.
Yeah, it's something better.
Are the bubbles smaller?
So we have selected 3 bottles to purchase. The normal summertime brut, the 100 years anniversary brut, and we have chosen the Galice Blanc de Blanc brut as well. Since we're already in the Moselle River region, we're now driving to Grevenmacher to visit another winery. Well, we are now in Grevenmacher, and here, this is the border bridge. The bridge goes to Germany on the other side. Right, we are now at Cafes Bernard-Massard, another renowned winery in the Moselle region. We have also booked a tour here to visit. Again, with the Luxembourg card, you get a complimentary visit and a tasting here. And also, you need to make a reservation at least a day beforehand. Well, as you can see, unlike the previous one, where it's actually encaved, here it's just more like a factory. The tour at Cafes Bernard-Massard is broadly similar. Well, it's got to be, they made the same thing after all. I found the tour at the previous place, Cafes Saint-Martin, to be better though, as the guy was really witty when talking about things. This one also suffered from having too many people on the tour. Anyway, let's skip to the wine tasting part. We just finished the visit and it's now to go out to the terrace to have a little tasting. The tasting takes place at the beautiful terrace. From here, you can see the border bridge, Rue de Pont, which you can just walk across to Germany. Finally, got our crémant. Cheers. What do you think? It tastes a bit more acidic or something than the. This is also the 100 years anniversary version, but yeah, I remember last time we had the normal brut and it was really good. Right, I think we have done enough wine tasting for now. It's time to head north to Vianden, where we are going to visit one of Luxembourg's most iconic landmarks, the Vianden Castle. Perched high above the town of Vianden, this medieval fortress has a history dating back to the 10th century. Originally built on the foundation of a Roman castellum, Vianden Castle was expanded between the 11th and 14th centuries, blending Romanesque and Gothic styles. In 1417, the castle came into the possession of the Dutch royal family. They owned the castle until the French Revolution, when Vianden, alongside the rest of Luxembourg, was swallowed by France. In 1820, the castle was returned to the Dutch King William I. He found little use in this gigantic, hard-to-hit castle, and so he sold it to a scrap merchant who just stripped out everything and flogged everything inside, as well as the building material. The castle fell into decay and became a ruin. Here, inside the castle now, you can see photos of how it looked like. In 1966, restoration works started, and in 1977, the Grand Duke of Luxembourg transferred it to state ownership. By then, large parts of the castle had been rebuilt after old images. Vianden Castle is now a museum and also used for official state occasions. Well, this is the spectacular upper chapel. This is arguably the prettiest room in the castle. Look at those vaulted ceilings and how the orange braiding really highlights the arches and columns. Back in the day, the nobles would sit up here, while the commoners sat down at the lower level, which you can actually see from here. This is the Chemin hall, where you'll find a fascinating photo exhibition that tells the story of the castle's fall and its restoration. It's named in honor of the architect who played a key role in restoring the castle to its former glory. Right next door, in the Charles Arendt Hall, you'll find photos of foreign dignitaries who visited the castle over the years. Wow, you can see the well is rather deep. The views from the castle ramparts are quite spectacular. You can see the entire valley and the town of Vianden nestled below. It's a perfect spot for taking photos and soaking in the history and beauty of this incredible place. If you've been enjoying this tour through the stunning landscape and historic sites of Luxembourg, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more travel adventures. Leave a comment below about your favorite place in Luxembourg or any other questions you might have. I hope you enjoyed this visit to Luxembourg. If you are looking for a day trip from Luxembourg City, look no further than Trier. We did exactly that. I put a link here when the video is ready so you can watch it. Before we finish, I'll quickly show you the hotel we stayed at in Luxembourg. This is the DoubleTree by Hilton and we'll upgrade it to a suite. This has been Ken from Ken Travels 360. Until next time, a bientôt.